Hi, welcome to this week's podcast. This week I'm going to start getting this podcast into shape, quite honestly. It's been sort of meandering all over the place while I've been trying to work out exactly what I want it to be. I think I put too much into some of the weeks and not enough into others. So what I have been hearing from you time and time again is that I seem to put a lot on Facebook and little bits and pieces on my blog, and it's a little bit hard if you want to just visit me every now and then and get all those bits of information. The things that I share are really the journey that I'm on while I'm writing. At the moment, as you know, I've got the Australian Wildflower Oracle coming out in September, but I'm a couple of publications ahead and I'm right in the middle of research and creating art for something down the track. I really don't mind sharing with you the research that I'm doing along the way. I'm not going to give away all my secrets, but there's so many things that are current that come up. I mean, only this week we had that fantastic new oak tree discovered in Thailand in the forest, which is just amazing. And I think it's really relevant because to share it with you when it happens, because there's no use waiting for a couple of years to hear about that research. I was actually researching a flower at the time and then I found out about that. And yeah, it'll probably be incorporated in the work that I'm doing, but I want to talk about it here and now as well. Social media, joining me on my blog, joining me on Facebook. It's all about sharing and sharing a common interest. And I love to hear the things that you think and your insights, and also being able to share and having a little bit of a melting pot as well is such a fantastic way that we all get to learn about the things that we're interested in. So I'm going to try and get this podcast to be really a sort of summary and a little touchstone on the things that happened during the week and the questions that came up. People ask me questions on my wall, they send me personal messages and lots of emails, and there's so many things that come up, and a lot of things seem to be on a theme at times, and I'd really like to be able to share that with all of you in one space. So that's what my podcast is going to really start to look like. So it's just a really great little place where everything sits and lives. I'll still be sharing with you the meditations and also art things as well. There's been a lot of people asking me about art journaling, and I'm really happy to share more of that, so that you'll see more of that coming up as well. It's something that I just absolutely love doing, so I'm really happy to share that with you. The other thing that came up this week was somebody asked, and it wasn't actually on my Facebook or through a direct message. I did get an email a couple of weeks ago, but somebody was talking about flower remedies, and they were concerned that the flower remedy that they had wasn't working for them, and also they were concerned that there would be maybe some contraindication with the prescription medications that they were taking. My first advice with flower essences is to go and see a flower therapist and or a naturopath. Most naturopaths have some experience and some training in flower therapies. As a broad answer to this question, is the flower remedy wrong for me? It doesn't seem to be working. Look, 9 times out of 10 with people, I find it's actually the expectation of the person. Flower remedies work holistically in a manner that's very different than, say, popping an aspirin or taking something to get rid of a headache, if you can think of it that way. The way that flower remedies work is by bringing you into balance, and they work mostly on the emotional plane. So they bring you into balance so that you can self-heal, which is a lot of holistic modalities work in this way. So it's not about being a cure, it's about bringing you into balance. So if you feel that you're not getting any benefit from it, it can be your expectation. It's not a magic popping pill. It can take a little while. It could be the dosage, and yes, it can be that it's not the right one for you. So seeking out a flower therapist who will take a lot more information than just what you sort of read yourself, although if you absolutely have no access to somebody, there are a lot of good books, and I would suggest any of the books by Ian White from the Australian Bush Flower Therapies. He's fantastic, his works, and anything about bark flowers as well. particularly anything written by Dr. Bach would be fantastic. So have a look for those sorts of things, and have a look at dosages, and it really will explain in those books the sort of heart behind the modality itself. But please try and seek out a flower therapist in your area if you would like to know more about them, and get your expectations to one of being self-healing, being in that position of self-healing, not popping something to instantly make you feel better. I'm a great big fan of Rescue Remedy and also Emergency Essence by Australian Bushflower Essences. And what it does, as many of you know, I am scared of flying and I have to fly a lot. I take different ones at different times, depends where I am. And I know that when I take them, they are putting my body and my mind and my emotions into a state so that I can heal and I can work through it. They're not numbing me and so I don't feel scared. They're actually bringing a little bit of emotional balance around me so that I can energetically get a grip of the situation and jump on an aeroplane. Okay, so that's how they work. The other thing we looked at this week was blue flowers, and I've put the link down there for those. I've got my new course starting in April, but the early bird offer ends at the end of February if you're interested in that. And also my new newsletter starts as well, the Flora Circle, so there's information down there. The meditation this week is 45 minutes long, so you probably give yourself a good hour of some peace and quiet so that you can enjoy that. I love to hear from people who listen to my meditations, who read things, who've got things to share. So I would love to see any insights. If you've got any questions at all, hop on my Facebook page, send me an email. I'd love to hear about it. And also suggestions of what you'd like to see in the podcast. So, you know, flowers are my thing, art's my thing, anything at all along those sorts of lines, or anything that you feel that, you know, maybe we could all discuss. I'm really open to having a look at that. Happy blessings. Have a fantastic week. Next week we'll be doing some flower readings. I'll set up the event for that. And thank you so much for joining me every week. It's really, really delightful, and I love getting those emails and messages as well and having chats with you. Happy blessings. Have a fantastic week. Bye.